The Kenyan land market is very unapologetic when it comes to getting back at you. And this is what happens. You purchase a parcel of land and your idea is to build a dream home. You go light on and you build that home. 3 years after completion, get that there is a court case. And this case comes down to a demolition order. And you are ordered to demolish your home that you had beautifully constructed and you had put in all your energy to that. And that comes to a devastating realization. There are very many factors that lead to such cases, but here are some of the things that a surveyor can help you achieve before purchasing such a land to be on the safe side. Number one is accuracy. When you're purchasing a parcel of land, you want to know exactly where you're purchasing and to be exact with the registered documents. The registered documents are normally the RIMs and the survey plans. I remember a case when someone purchased the land, they were shown an area that was almost there, but not exactly where they bought the land. And they took us to the ground and they were trying to make us locate their parcel. And they were saying, this is where I purchased my land. But in actual sense, when we tried to trace that parcel back, it was a kilometer away from that location. This is what happens in the market. You want to buy a land, someone sees a good location, they show you that location and they convince you to buy the parcel. And yet, where you're buying is not exactly that location. And a surveyor helps you to identify the actual area and with the required accuracy and efficiency. Number two is value for money. Warren Buffett is a great investor, and most of us know him. And what he says is that price is what you pay and value is what you get. And in actual sense, when you're doing a long-term investment, this is what you target. You want to buy something that is long-term, but at a very favorable market price. You want to purchase a land in a very good neighborhood, but at the very best possible price you can get. And that is exactly what a surveyor helps you to achieve and get to. Because at the neighborhood you're buying, there are very many parcels. They'll locate that parcel and try to find the history of that area. If you're being ripped off, surely the surveyor will tell you this area and the value of prices of this area is not at what you're being ripped off at. But if the parcel is actually at the good neighborhood you want and the price is favorable, then a surveyor will guide you on the process of where to get to. And this is the most part where people skip because you have gotten a good deal out there and you want to close it very fast. But remember, what is very fast, it's not very accurate in most cases. You buy something very fast and you end up getting ripped off. And at the end, you come back crying saying no one told you or no one helped you. And to avoid such cases, it's good you find a surveyor, they investigate the area and try to gauge the value of the land in that neighborhood so that you get the best value for your money. Number three is security. And security is the sense of you being able to do what you want to do, exercising the freedom and the rights you have on the land or on the property that you own. And when it comes to land security, we have three pillars actually. The three pillars are in form of legal security, which is the legal documents, the land title, the formal registered document or the RIM, and the survey plans and all the legal documents which are used to register the property in the time of registration. Then the second pillar is the actual and practical security. This is the security which enables a community to live in a certain area, which at any given time, there is always a community or people living in a given land. And these are the people who give you the sense of the use and the security of use in that area. The third pillar when it comes to land security is the perceived security. Now, perceived security comes in terms of long-term investments. If investors are having the courage to invest long-termly on the land you are purchasing or the area you are purchasing, then it gives you a sense that the area is very secure and you can invest in the long run or in the long term in that parcel of land. Number 4 is avoiding disputes. If you have been in the land sector or you have been trying to invest in land, one thing that comes up is that you should avoid disputes at all costs, because disputes are very costly. And in other cases, people decide to deal with their counterparts traditionally, and that ends up with people being dead. And you don't want that to happen at any time to you or any other neighbor that is within the area you are buying. A surveyor helps to identify these disputes and to resolve them before they escalate to such huge matters. Because if a boundary line is not aligned, then what you are buying is not a parcel of land. You are buying stress in the near future, because the other party will want to subdivide their land. And the boundary line will come to a point that it is coming to your side or you are getting to their side. So before you purchase any land, or before you go to purchase any land or to investigate any land, very good that you get a surveyor to help you in doing that. I've seen many cases where a dispute causes a friendship or leads to neighbors becoming enemies, and they were not enemies from the beginning. So disputes are things that should be avoided and can be avoided when you follow the right mechanism. Because with a surveyor, you resolve that issue, and that leads to a better community and to a better way of you investing in that land and having peace when you're living in that area and in that location. Number 5 is verifying the size and shape. A friend of mine, he bought a parcel of land, but this parcel, he didn't confirm the acreage, he didn't confirm all the other elements of it on the ground. He just looked at the title and the documents, and it was saying he's purchasing 1.5 acres. And he went right on, he purchased the land and he paid in full. Then later on, he came to us telling us, I want you to locate this parcel for me, or to geolocate it and reestablish the beacons. Going to the ground, what we found that was the land was not 1.5 acres. In real sense, it was just half an acre, and all the other land in that region was sold out. So he doesn't have a place to claim the land, but he has a title which is claiming that his land is 1.5 acres, and that's what he paid, but he got just half an acre. So verifying the size of the land you're purchasing or the land you're going to purchase and the shape of that land, because you might be looking to build apartments and the land you're getting is a triangle, which doesn't make sense if you're going to use it for a certain purpose, which leads to you getting to a better, good point of negotiating. If you know this is not the shape I wanted or the size that I actually wanted to buy, you can either negotiate for that land or you can look for another good location or good parcel to buy, instead of you being driven to buy a parcel that you didn't want. These are things that are not a privilege, but they are actually things we should consider when purchasing land. And very many people are going the wrong direction because they think it is not a must, but it comes to bite them back in the near future or in the long run. You should advise your friends to actually have a survey and perform due diligence before purchasing or paying for any parcel of land. Number 6 is identifying restrictions and easements. Now, this is an interesting one because at any given time, when we were at the village, there was that one person who allowed people to pass through their land, or they allowed a certain line, like an electric or a grid, to pass through their land. Now, years later, when this person wants to subdivide the land and They go on and subdivide the land and they sell it out. You, as the new person who is buying that land, these easements could be included on the title, or they could be on the ground, because there are other easements that are not included on the title, but they were rights given to users to use that part of the land in a certain way. When you purchase a land with these easements and restrictions, they also come as one package. You cannot say remove the easements or remove the restrictions if you had not looked at them before and negotiated for them. Because if the person is selling the land to you, you can negotiate for the easement to be changed or to be taken somewhere else before you purchase. But when you purchase, you have purchased the entire parcel with the easement it has. I remember at the time there was an electrical grid passing through someone's land. And when the other person purchased the land, they were negotiating that now, because I've purchased the land, you can remove the grid and take it somewhere else. But you purchase the land with the grid there, so doing that becomes a very hectic issue, because before you purchased, you saw the grid, you saw the easement, but you didn't think it was going to hinder you in any way. And these are things that a surveyor helps you identify, and they advise you on the best course of action to take, because easements are things we need and they are things community needs, but they can be negotiated instead of creating a dispute on a better way to work with the community. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.